Good evening. My name is Andrea Horton. As a Black woman who grew up in middle class with a retired Navy veteran and a stay-at-home mom, I was privileged in numerous ways, but I also experienced a lack of privilege in many ways as well. Speaking on privilege, growing up middle class, I was able to get just about anything I asked from my parents, within a reasonable price. I can never think of a moment where I wonder where my next meal was or if we were going to have money for Christmas. And I know there are a lot of individuals that had that issue. Particularly, I remember as a child around 10 when I had the option to either ride my bike or take my rollerblades with my friends. And a friend said, I wish I had had options to play with like you. The option to either ride a bike or rollerblade. And it kind of hit me like, oh, wow. Not everybody has that option like I do. Also in high school, I didn't have to ride a school bus because my mom would drop me off. Most students didn't have that option whether to ride the bus or not. Another time was, me hanging out with my cousins. My mom would drop me off with my cousins and we would just hang out. And it was in the hood, the south side of Raleigh. And even my cousin was in a gang member, so they spent a lot of time out in the streets, and it was just a different lifestyle than what we had as middle class. And that was the first time that I was exposed to food stamps. And this is when they were papers, not the little nice card that they have now, but the actual stamps that you had to tear out of the book. And even just roaches, being having to be mindful of roaches, what I ate, and what I ate, or even just seeing roaches on the wall and things like that. So just those experiences made me realize how privileged I was when it came to economic status. Another privilege I had was just the cognitive ability in high school. I had the option to skip the second grade, but my father declined that option. In middle school particularly, I was on the AG team and was taking advanced classes, but that meant we got to take field trips that a lot of the other middle school teams did not. And my best friend was not on the AG team with me, and she would always say about how, she was jealous because of the special treatment that we received because we were on the AG team. When it comes to lack of privilege, one of the first times that I felt lack of privilege as a woman and understood it was in high school. One of my first jobs working in the cleaners. A young white man and I started working around the same time, and I was the one that was always working harder, would pick up hours. I actually learned how to work in the back with the ladies back there, learning how to tag the clothes, and I would do that sometimes when we were kind of slow. So I was just really trying to learn as much as I could and help out as much as I could. But when the opportunity came for elevation, he was the one that was promoted. And I was confused at her because I was the one always going the extra mile for the job, but he received the promotion. And when I confronted him about it, he went running to the owners. I could have probably dealt with it a different way in the words that I chose, but at the same time, I was the one that got fired. So that kind of was a little wake up call. And the first time I really felt a lack of privilege as a Black woman was when my mother and sister kind of informed me that as a Black woman, you always have to work a little extra hard to prove yourself, that you were kind of the last one on the totem pole. And, even just watching the way that you respond because you didn't want to come off as that angry Black woman with the nasty attitude. So that was something that I learned from them. And, even seeing it at work, I had seen a young white woman wear flip-flops and leggings to work when clearly the code was business casual. But I seen and nothing happened to her, or nobody said anything to her. But I seen a young Black woman do the same thing, and she was told to go home and change. So, and then I also learned as a dark-skinned woman, I often dealt with colorism within, it's colorism within the Black community, and I was often called ugly, or dirty for my complexion as being dark-skinned, or I was told that I was a pretty for long hair for I had pretty hair for a long dark-skinned woman, like Black dark-skinned women can't have long pretty hair. And I've even had someone in my family say that I was pretty, but not as pretty as my biracial stepsisters. And I was just like, wow, It's just interesting. And, even now with what's going on as a Black woman is, with the police killing Black men, and even the Black on Black crime that we see, murders, makes me worry about my Black boyfriend, my father, brothers, nephews, uncles, all of that, in that situation. And I think that's something that other races might not have to worry about, particularly those not of color. So, in conclusion, I truly believe that I have experienced both privilege and lack of privilege situations, but unfortunately, the lack of privilege experiences are the ones that I remember the most. And that's probably because of the hurt that they caused. Thank you.